Dasani is the sponsor for this segment. This segment concerns the NBA. It was loaded Sunday in the league on Sunday. The Clippers, they beat the Mavericks. The Heat took down the Pelicans. Raptors too strong for the Knicks. The Suns beat the Grizzlies. The Thunder overcame the Nuggets. The Nets beat the Warriors. And then the Trailblazers, they fell to the Lakers. Now in his 20th season, LeBron James continues to exceed expectations. The King, imperious against the Trailblazers.
Damian Lillard and the Trailblazers hosting LeBron James and the Lakers. LeBron highlights start early here in the first, pulling up and drilling the deep three. Then, falling to his left, gets the jumper to go here. The Lakers would lead the way 20-9 in the quarter. Then, Nasir Little with the floater. With just about a minute to go in the first, Josh Hart gets his layup blocked there, but Dame would find Anthony Simons for the deep three. Then more Lillard, this time driving and kicking it out to Simons yet again for three more. Jeremy Grant pushing the ball and taking it all the way for the dunk. Lillard to Simons yet again. Then Lillard on the keeper, pulling up from way downtown and getting the deep three to go. 24 points, 6 rebounds, and 10 assists for Dame. Here's Hart with a cross-court pass to Simons for another three. He finished with 31, and the Blazers would outscore the Lakers in the second quarter 45-13. But the Lakers would come storming back in the third. Pat Bev with the steal to Schroeder with the lob to LeBron. Then Thomas Bryant in the post getting inside and getting the bucket plus the foul. And he'd make that free throw. Here's LeBron with the rebound going coast to coast for the layup. Then blowing past the defense for yet another one to cut their deficit to 6. Troy Brown to Bryant for 3 more in the fourth. Then LeBron with the behind-the-back pass to Bryant, who gets the floater to go. Dennis Schroeder getting the 3 off the dish from LeBron, 24 points for him in the game. Then LeBron backing down, turning around, and banking it in. 37 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists for LeBron. Schroeder with the miss, but Bryant with the rebound and the putback. Then Brown would get his shot blocked here, but Bryant is there for yet another putback. 31 points and 14 rebounds for him in the game, and the Lakers come back to win it 121-112.
Now the question, can LeBron lead the Lakers to the playoffs? Is that the real question? Scrap that question, Alistair, or NBA expert Alistair Albert joins us. Alistair, the form that the King has been in his last 15 games, where has this come from? I thought these days of consecutive 30-plus point games were gone. I thought his body was broken, but he's made a liar of all of us who felt that the long, slow decline was well underway. The man looks reborn.
Yeah, man, I'm going to use your word you had in this Bill summary before the highlights. Imperious, arrogantly superior. I had to go check that word out quickly before the segment started for me. But it's a really good word to use for him because he has been arrogantly superior against the competition in terms of what stats he's kind of putting up on the boards. Averaging, I didn't check the last 15, but the last 10, I'll give you that. 35 points, 9 rebounds, 7.9 assists. The guy has just been, there are no more superlatives I could think of for his individual production during this time without Anthony Davis. And, he's kind of single-handedly keeping the Lakers afloat. In the last 12 games, they're 8-4. During that 12-game span, he's played 10 games, they're 7-3. This is the type of production you kind of expect from LeBron and the Lakers. Well, not from LeBron specifically, because I don't think you were expecting a 35 points average for any point in time of the season from LeBron. But, this sort of consistency in winning, 7-3 in the last 10, this is probably what you kind of expected from the Lakers coming into the season, to be better than last. And yeah, he's remarkable. That's why he's in the conversation for being the GOATs, it's crazy what he's doing, and it's kind of leading his team to some level of success at this moment.
Yeah, I you know what's great about what he's doing now, and I really say great in the true sense. You remember the time before the last time that they met the Grizzlies, and a run-in he had with a couple of the Grizzlies and some words exchanged, and he said, look, I'm not taking that disrespect. The next time you do that, there's going to be hell to pay. And how they beat the Grizzlies by that 1 point, 2 games ago now. So the fire to want to exact revenge, the ability to be able to exact that revenge shows me that this is a man in a body that is cooperating with him. It's not breaking down and cause him to be left by the wayside, and that he is in, I'm going from that Grizzlies performance to this Trailblazers performance, he is in a very, very good place right now. Perhaps the best phase that he's been in, if you take last season and this season up to this point combined, in terms of fitness and in the groove, I've not seen the king like this in a while, Alistair.
I'm just hoping his body doesn't break down and there's not a groin injury or something. But to come back to that point of, I suppose what's motivating him to play at this high level at the moment, I don't know. Well, the highlights didn't show it there, but I think behind on social media and on through the trending sections of social media, there was a little bit of a brouhaha at halftime where Shannon Sharp, the Hall of Famer NFL player, got into it with Dylan Brooks and Steven Adams and all of that. And I suppose word got back to LeBron in the locker room, coming back out after halftime, that this happened, and he probably just wanted to exact some revenge for his buddy on the sideline as well. But of course, he's not doing that. He's trying to win the game. But I think any little motivation that comes from LeBron this season and him trying to, I suppose, keep his legacy afloat, and not to have 2 seasons straight back to back, not making the playoffs, is trying to drive him to do great things. And, any little bits of motivation, I suppose, is he's using it to try to do the most that he can. When you hear him in the press conferences after, he sounds exhausted. But, this is a guy who's trying to preserve himself for the games to kind of give the best output that he can. And he's just showing that supremely right now.
Right, and Alistair, 20 seasons and counting at the age of 38 years, he continues to reinvent himself. He's still the topic of discussion.
Yeah, boy, it's 20 long years, longevity, to be able to do this what he's doing is remarkable and, of course, unprecedented. I kind of laugh and kind of just shake my head when I hear a lot of the LeBron haters saying that, he's doing this, he's compiling, he's this, is that. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I think he played something like 19 or 20 seasons. In his last season, he averaged something like 10 points a game. This is the guy he's chasing for the all-time record. And, that kind of shows you what it's like. We have a recent example of Vince Carter, who retired after 20-something years. He was a big player, averaging something like 7 points, if so, on his last season. LeBron is averaging over 29 or whatever it is, close to 30 points a game. You have to give it to him. That's why he's in the conversation for being one of the best. Of course, his whole career, everything that he's managed to do to this point, but just being able to show that every single season he could come in and be elite, remain elite, is something just outstanding.
Right, and as we talk about the Lakers win, of course, we need to mention Thomas Bryant and Pat Beverly. They also had good nights and, of course, assisted LeBron James because, as much as he can do it on his own, he's at an age where, of course, he'd welcome all the help he can get.
Definitely. And, with the absence of Anthony Davis, I think we spoke about that the last time, he's stepping up, 5 years in the league, had very inconsistent seasons in Washington and places like that. And, he's come in and, he's been thrust into a position where he has to produce. Darvin Ham, of course, is speaking in his ear. Phil Handy, one of the assistant development coaches on the sideline, is speaking to him. Anthony Davis also is speaking to him and trying to tell him things that he needs to do. And he's done very well. Over this same 10-game stretch, he's averaging something like 16 points and 10 rebounds a game. And, this is every little bit helps. Between Thomas Bryant, Dennis Schroeder, who's averaging something very similar, 16 points. Russell Westbrook, who's averaging 19 points over that stretch as well. It combined with LeBron's 35-plus points. Every little bit of production that they could get whilst Anthony Davis is out, who they say is returning really soon. And sometime this week, maybe, it's going to be really good because they need to do everything to get him back. And also, there was a trade today. They got Rui Hachimura, who was a former teammate of Russell Westbrook from Washington Washington Wizards, who's going to be coming in, who's another forward who could at least produce from the bench for them. So any little bit that they could get to put up on the boards, because we saw scoring was a difficulty for them early on in the season, will be good. And let's see how much it pushes them to the play-in or the playoffs.
Excellent. Defending champions, the Golden State Warriors, they continue to struggle, losing to a KD light Brooklyn Nets on Sunday.
A couple of the great guards in the game collide in the Bay Area as Steph Curry and the Warriors host Kyrie Irving and the Nets. Into first quarter highlights, Kyrie with a nice crossover on Steph before getting the long 2 to go and giving the Nets the 5-point lead. Here's Curry getting the pull-up 3 to go and cutting their deficit to 2. Then off the Nets turnover here, Jordan Poole with the nifty overhead outlet pass to Jonathan Kuminga for the dunk in transition. Here's more from Irving later in the second, penetrating, getting the pull-up to go off the glass, but the Warriors still leading the way 52-48. Then the chef would cook to end the half. Stephen Curry for 3, then putting on a clinic before getting the tough layup to go high off the glass here. 26 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists for Steph. And the Warriors would lead the way by 12 at the half, 72-60. Ben Simmons to Irving for the pull-up 3 in the third. Then Simmons dropping it off to Irving for another 3 to tie things up at 75 apiece. Into fourth quarter highlights, Dante DiVincenzo with a nice pass to a cutting Kuminga for the dunk, 20 points in the game for him. The Warriors nearly turned the ball over here, but Draymond Green would get it out to Poole, who hits the pull-up 3, 17 points and 4 steals for him. The Nets with a late charge. Here's Kyrie with 3 more off the screen, then looking for Nick Claxton inside, and he'd find him. 24 points, 15 rebounds, and 3 blocks for Claxton. More Irving drawing a couple defenders, then kicking it out to Royce O'Neal for 3, and the Nets take the lead 118-116. Poole kicking it out to Curry, who pump fakes but doesn't shoot. A kickball's called here. The Warriors would retain possession. Then on the next play, DiVincenzo with the inbounds to Klay Thompson. He misses the 3. Irving would grab the rebound, and the Nets would hang on to win it. 120-116, the final score.
When Kyrie Irving is on, it's on. Yeah, there were moments in that game where he was pure fire. Alistair, I tend to think that where the playoffs are concerned, there should be no reason to worry, to fret about the Warriors and the Nets. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think so. Providing health, of course, that's the thing that everyone kind of looks for. If KD comes back healthy and he could continue in a healthy manner to close out the season and be there for the start of the playoffs, there's no problem at all. Because like the last time we spoke, I said KD is that steady influence for this team alongside Kyrie. You know, they're explosive, they're crazy, they're hard to deal with. And yeah, the Warriors, they're doing what they're doing. They're having their little struggles. Guys are in and out of the lineup. They had their full squad up last night and losing to the Nets. But you could see those little moments where, you think that, these guys just don't give them a chance. They could come back. So, presumptive, I think they both will make the playoffs and be all right and, be as competitive as they normally are.
Excellent. Alistair, that's all the time we have, my friend. Appreciate it as usual. We'll talk again.
See you guys later. Thanks, man.
Good. That's Alistair Albert, our NBA expert. Time for us to take a break here on the Sportsman Zone.